and right near the Royal Oak Music Theater, which we'll be getting to in a second. Budweiser is sponsoring the Rock Stage, so that's Rock Stage 2. You'll hear the likes of Black Irish and Taddy Porter. Pepsi is going to be doing jazz and R&B throughout the weekend. Friday, Jamie Register and the Glendales, Dave Sharp's Secret Seven. The Bugs Beto Band is back after a long absence. Katrina Carson as well. What I want to say about the local music stages is that they are products of a 14-person music committee that has worked diligently, throughout the summer and has looked at over 400 bands through sources like Sonic Bids and meetings and other processes to come up with just a dynamic representation of the Detroit music scene. So the national names are great, but check out the local names. And then, just because we were worried if we didn't have enough space for folks, we are really excited about our Royal Oak Music Theater partnership, and we are presenting, this is all new, B3 at ROMT, presented by AT&T, and that is going to feature some incredible bands on what is going to be the Made in Detroit stage. I'd like to thank On the Rocks and Kathy for helping us put that together. On Friday, Detroit Metro Mix is working with us at the Royal Oak, presenting the Howling Diablos, Silver Ghost, and Prussia. And then each night there's an after party at Royal Oak Theater, and Sponge, who plays outdoors, will come and play a $3 after party, which will be our official after party, although there'll be parties going throughout Royal Oak, Mr. Mayor. But that will be one official one that we will be promoting. On Saturday, the Metro Times takes over with us. They're doing their summer blowout. Want to thank Jim Cohn for being here and his efforts. The Hard Lessons are performing Ty Stone and Wrong Numbers. Again, look at our site and you will see the fabric of Detroit music out throughout these venues. Later that night, Rhythm Corps comes back and plays an encore set in the Royal Oak Theater, so it just continues. On Sunday, there's a hair show and special party event promoted by Real Detroit Weekly. And I'd like to thank John Bedanchek here, who has just moved Real Detroit into Royal Oak. And we appreciate his incredible efforts, and they've got some other fun plans throughout the weekend that are going to be coming out. So that is something that we are extremely proud of, and that's our music. And I've got to get my papers here. And now I'm going to go from the beats to the arts as we keep moving forward. And we have a special guest here. She is actually the president of the National Association of Independent Artists. She represents artists from around the country, and she has joined us here today for this special announcement. So how about a nice hand and warm welcome for Teresa Saborsky, president of the National Association of Independent Artists.
Thank you, John. You're welcome. I am really glad to be here in Royal Oak today to help announce the Board's Arts Beats and Needs. As John said, I represent independent artists from all over the country and the world. We have international members as well, and many of which are going to be represented at this show, the show Arts Beats and Needs. To Metro Denver, I was in Denver just recently. To Metro Detroit, I can only say that you're in for a surprise. I mean, out of 400 applicants, 135 artists were selected. And a few you can see over here. The quality of art is going to be terrific. The Sunshine Artist has ranked for Arts Beats and Needs as high as 7th, and they're hoping to break into the top 10 again this year. Of all the fine artists, you are going to see categories such as ceramics, fabric and fiber, leather, mixed media, painting, photography, sculpture, wood, digital art, drawing, graphics, and printmaking, glass, jewelry, and metal. So if you don't see anything there you like, I'm sorry. You certainly will have the opportunity. And at the time, manufacturing is very, very necessary in this country. But also the individual artist and the uniqueness of American and Canadian creativity will be exhibited here. You will have the opportunity to speak with the artist, to see how they do what they do. You can only get that at art fairs. You don't get it in galleries. Galleries are wonderful, but you don't always have the opportunity to find out what goes into the making of this unique art. So take this opportunity to go down to the Ford's Art Beats and Eats and get to know the artists, see their work, and support the economy in that way. As I said, we have some artists here. I want to thank them for coming on behalf of the Arts Beats and Eats. Represented here are Steve Brenniger, Southwest Detroit metal artist. Stephen's work are clean and crisp. Art Deco inspired works made of multi-metals, meticulously finished so that they shine like jewels. Ted July of Otisville, Michigan is a wood artist. Ted's focus is wood turning, in which he makes bowls and vessels that began as trees cut into logs, shaped and sanded. The patterns of rings, knots, hardwood, bark, and effects become spectacular designs, so check them out as well. Andrew Wu of Birmingham, Michigan is a glass artist. Andrew does spectacular blown glass that have fluidity that might even come from his musical background as a classical musician. Some of the pieces are formed from cold work that reveals the interior layers of each piece. So please take the opportunity to go talk with these artists, look at their work, and please come to Ford's Arts Beats and Eats and see the other artists that are represented there. Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa, and thank you for coming from Denver to make it here today. We appreciate that very much. Now I'd like to bring up a young lady who is actually a veteran of coordinating and putting restaurant lineups together, and her work has been tireless not only in Royal Oak but throughout Metro Detroit. She's our restaurant coordinator, and get a load of what you're about to hear from her. Here come the eats. How about it for Shannon Ferrante, our Director of Food Operations.
I can only say that bar none, we have assembled the best Taste Festival lineup ever in Metro Detroit. Our fantastic lineup of eateries begins with festival sponsors Vince and Joe's Gourmet Market, Saunders Candy, and Uptown Theaters. Royal Oak Restaurants came out in full force, represented today by Zumba Mexican Grill and Black Fin Saloon, who brought us some treats. Thank you very much. Other Royal Oak restaurants you will see at the festival include Sangria, Meza Mediterranean Grill, Tom's Oyster Bar, What Crepe, De Amados, Cafe Muse, Town Tavern, and Cafe Havana. But that's only just the beginning. As restaurants throughout Metro Detroit, including the Middle Eastern Taste of Palm Palace, the barbecue of Damon's Grill and Kirk's Barbecue, Troy's Melting Pot, Trenton Ice Cream, California Pizza Kitchen, Detroit's own 24 Grill, the famous turkey legs from Randy's Catering, and the cutting board from Warren, who also donated food today. How about a nice hand for the cutting board as well? Thank you. We are also happy to announce we are bringing back our dessert district with many sweet tasting establishments, including the return of the Bloomfield Canopy Cheesecake Company, and new this year, Ridley's Bakery Cafe of Troy. One more important announcement. Garden Fresh Salsa has purchased a booth to sell chips and salsa, with all proceeds going to the Boys and Girls Club in Royal Oak. Together with all our restaurants, we are projecting more than 200 different tastes of food styles this year. And like last year, there will be no food item over $5. Thank you very much.
As you can, I don't want to take it too high, Jim, so just had to throw that in there. Okay. Thank you for the one laugh. I am in Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle. I'm doing my best, all right? Thank you. As you can see, this show is developing, and I want to thank the media, and I appreciate their understanding and patience in covering, all the information being given out today. You can see it's significant, but it's just beginning. As I mentioned at the top of the press conference announcement today, that the collaboration with Royal Oak was substantial.